Over-enrolled, overcrowded, and over it. This is a documentary on the issues of Virginia Tech's over-acceptance issue and the negative impact it has on student life. As we take a look at Virginia Tech and discuss these negative impacts, we will have the amazing opportunity to hear from current undergraduate students at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, a public land-grant research university with its main campus in Blacksburg, Virginia. For many, many years, Virginia Tech has been known for excellent academic programs and an amazing community of faculty and students, attracting students from all over the country and the world. However, when we take a deeper look into what student admissions have been like, we discover a whole other issue that is taking a toll on the students themselves. With over 31,000 applicants in 2019, the school is expecting to enroll around 7,000 students. However, they were over-accepting by nearly 1,000 students. This number is no small number, and this caused an overpopulation of students. Because of the increase in the number of students, this leads to overcrowding in dining halls and slow food service. The staff within these dining halls could not keep up with the high demands of students during lunchtime and dinner time. Not only that, this meant that the wait for food in person and on Grubhub and online ordering services would surpass an hour during lunch and dinner times. Despite Virginia Tech's amazing academic program, due to the overpopulation of students, it is harder for students to get classes they need, as most classes are always full. This is also due to not enough staff to keep up with the overpopulation of students as well. Worst of all, their living situation. In 2019, the over-acceptance issue affected the living situation of students. Nearly 200 students were forced to move into a hotel room turned into a dorm room. Not only this, because of the over-enrollment, some students were offered a scholarship to take a gap year enrolling in free community college or registering for free summer courses. This way they could take the fall or spring semester off. And this would also allow Tech to have some more space to have students in the future. Now, although the overpopulation issue has been better in recent years, and Virginia Tech has attempted to rectify this issue, the overcrowding in dorms continue to persist, and the negative issues that come with it continue to impact the students currently.
Please describe your experience living on dorms last year.
Yeah, so last year I lived in New Hall West, which it's a three-person suite style dorm. And when I was going into it and I applied for the school and I applied for housing, I knew it was three-person. I thought it'd be fine, especially from looking at the pictures and looking at the videos that they posted on the VT website. I thought that this would be a good place to live. So I went in, applied, and everything was fine. And then when the time to actually move in came about, I tried moving in, and just during move-in, everything was crowded. It was a pain to get my stuff from the ground floor up to the third floor where I was living in. There was people all around. There wasn't space to maneuver. And that was kind of the first time where I thought that, hey, we've got way too many people here. So, a few months went by. I got accustomed to living there on campus. And just as time moved on, it became more apparent that it's just overcrowded. I realized that the reason that they're three-person dorms, or the three-person rooms inside the dorm, is because the school just accepts too many people and they don't know where to put them. I was actually talking to one of my friends whose brother had come to VT, I don't remember when, but like mid 2010s. And he had said that New Hall West, when he was on campus, was actually a two-person dorm. So what that means is the school had admitted too many people in the years prior that they had to convert it from two-person to three-person, and it results in this overcrowding that I had seen in my experience in living there.
While overacceptance affects the students that are living on campus by many factors, it does not stop there. This also affects the students living off campus who have to take the bus to and from class. Many students that live off campus are not within a reasonable walking distance from campus. Since many students use the bus system as a way to commute, over-acceptance causes the buses to be packed after going to just a few stops on their route. The buses being packed lead to them passing other students and forcing the ones left behind to wait an additional 15 to 30 minutes for another bus. This causes an inconvenience for students since they will have to leave for an earlier bus or find another way to campus. Even students that have cars cannot just simply drive themselves onto campus. The excessive amount of undergraduate students on campus with their own cars make it hard for off-campus students to find a way to class, since there are not enough parking spots to accommodate for all students. Not only are the crowded buses an issue, but other places on campus such as the library and gym are extremely crowded. Not being able to easily access the amenities that students pay for only causes students to go out of their way to find these amenities elsewhere, such as buying a membership at a gym or having to find places off campus to study and work. Not only does this cause an inconvenience for the students, but also makes them pay out of pocket for two separate things they already pay for at Tech. The overabundance of students is increasingly causing negative impacts on students as well as their college experience and life. These issues still occur today, and there has yet to be a solution found for these ongoing problems.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Smith, and I'm a junior at Virginia Tech.
So, do you live on or off campus?
I live off campus.
And how many years have you lived off campus?
I've lived off campus for 2 years.
Are you close to a bus stop?
I am.
Has the bus ever passed you due to being full? And if this has happened, how often would you say that it happens?
It's happened to me multiple times. Literally last week, the bus just drove right past me because it was full. I remember when I first moved here, I had to get used to it and quickly realize that the bus does get full, so I have to wake up really early to catch like the early bus that no one wants to catch, and that's really inconvenient because it really messes with my sleep schedule sometimes with homework and stuff. It's really inconvenient, but
How often would you say you have to walk home or walk to campus?
I would say in a week at least 3 times.
Okay. Have you ever had trouble trying to find somewhere to study or
Yes.
going to the gym on campus?
Yes, studying, the library is always packed. You have to calculate the time and the day to go to find like a good spot to study and everything. So I've had to like go somewhere like way off campus just so I can find somewhere to study. And with the gym's always packed. You gotta go really early or really late, and it's honestly very inconvenient.
Do you have a car?
I do have a car.
Do you have a parking pass?
I do, but honestly, it's almost useless because every time I go on campus, all the spots are taken. You have to get there really early to get a spot, and sometimes getting there really early is just not like fitting with my schedule.
Last question. Due to the overabundance of students, have you ever had to pay out of pocket for services that are already included in your tuition?
Yeah, all the time. If I happen to drive to campus, I don't find a spot, I have to pay for a parking meter, and I'm already paying for a parking ticket, so I always feel like my money is being wasted. I'm paying for the gym through my tuition, the buses through my tuition, the library services through my tuition, but I don't get to use these services because of the overcrowdedness.
Overcrowding has been an issue at Virginia Tech for a while now. Students are forced into uncomfortable living situations, from converting student lounges into dorms to placing students in hotels. Virginia Tech has done it all. The overcrowding comes with consequences of its own. The uncomfortable living situations these students were put in can negatively impact their educational experience as well as their ability to be present during classes as well as their experience as a student at Virginia Tech. The unusual environment can be detrimental to their sleep as well as cause discomfort. Lack of sleep, or lack of good sleep rather, brings many negative effects which in return can impact their performance academically. The discomfort that comes with being in an unusual environment can also make studying and doing homework more difficult for the student. Overcrowding also leads to the common areas of the school being heavily populated. Students can also have a harder time getting classes that they would like and request. One of the biggest negative impacts on students that we need to mention as well is the mental toll that this might have on students. So, what can be done to improve the quality of life at Virginia Tech for these students and combat these issues? One of the simplest and most straightforward solutions for Virginia Tech is to learn from their mistakes and not over-accept students. By under-accepting, Virginia Tech reduces the chances of over-admitting students, leading to overcrowding. If Virginia Tech were to continue to accept instead of slowing down, to accommodate for this, a possible solution is to expand the residential side. Although Virginia Tech has many different dorms housing a great amount of people, expanding the residential side further can show to have many benefits. One impact mentioned is how the overpopulation of students makes it harder for students to get the classes they want. And Virginia Tech does not look like they are slowing down anytime soon. So in order to accommodate for the influx of students, the school could consider bringing more instructors in. This could make classes more accessible for students to get, and it will also make the experience for these students in classes better. Now, not to mention, the mental strain that comes with overcrowding is hard to combat. However, a possible solution the school could look towards working on is increasing events and opportunities for students to connect and better their quality of life. Although all of these are possible solutions, it does not seem that at the moment Virginia Tech is looking to make any major changes. However, these are possible solutions that could benefit students as well as the school itself.